We are live. This is the market update. This is the everyone's bearish giving up except me market update. I refuse to give up on this market. Everybody wants to sell for all these stupid reasons. You won't even be able to remember why you're selling sub 85. It's like, ooh, there's a big short seller out there. And ooh, there's a big geopolitical conflict. And ooh, we're going to release information from the 60s, whatever. Everybody is focused on the wrong stuff. Everyone's focused on stuff that's negative, which is okay. But I continue to believe that the resolution to the negative situation is Bitcoin and Web3 up. And even though it, frankly, stinks for your P&L, the worse it looks, the higher it's going to go. Like the more abysmal it looks at the bottom, the more we all run like scared, it's like, scared mouse from the big cat when everyone's like, ooh, we have a big short at 85K. Ooh. Whatever, right? It's a big short at 85K because someone's looking to buy all the world's Bitcoin before everyone realizes that sovereigns may not have your best interests at heart, that they're distracting you from large scale problems with borrowed money, like a lot of bizarre stuff going on. We talked about it this morning. We talked about it in Patreon. That's the middle tier offering. We talked about it in the YouTube member area. We have LuxAlgo charts. And believe it or not, we didn't do any picks because I hit the wrong button because the Eagle King, I had to set it up myself. But the member stream this morning wasn't just for members. It was for everybody. So if you want to see what we do in the member area, come check that out. Right. And of course, there's the Bitcoin conference in Vegas in May. Right. Please get your tickets with the QR code of the link down below so you can hear Michael Saylor roll out the Orange Man's Bitcoin Strategic Reserve for the Sovereign Wealth Fund. Right now, no one wants to go. They're raising prices. That makes people not want to go more, but you better get a ticket before they continue to raise prices because the last minute FOMO on a May takeoff could be epic. Check that out. Also, make sure you check out the YouTube member stream. It's on my Twitter. It wasn't just a member stream. Please check that out. And we got PowerPoint today. We got altcoin overtime. We got Easter seasonals. We got like a Jesus query, believe it or not. We talked some about it. Patreon's had it 2 days ago. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. And even if you don't love it, you got to realize that, again, Bitcoin around May, around Easter can go up a lot, especially if it takes off, especially if it's artificially suppressed. So you definitely want to be in Patreon. You definitely want to be in the YouTube member area. We are going to get all of this sorted out today. A little bit of roadmap action. Oh, and by the way, hit the notification bell. Hit the notification bell. There's the like button. There's the subscribe button. Obviously, we appreciate you hitting that. Please turn on notifications. The bell, the bell, the bell, the bell. News, let's go. Oh, yeah, actually, we should welcome who's here. Some people may be double streaming it with us today. Some people maybe not. I don't know. We'll see who's here. Bob Martian, first. Ta-da! Bull Runner is here. Wrong again. Julius Max, Grandpa Keeter. Legend the DJ, members, welcome. 23, love you too, man. Donato is here. Welcome to the show. Welcome. Welcome to the show. Okay, news. Let's go. Okay, so we have a very big show here. We have a red carpet. We have a president from the 60s, and we're releasing all this information as to what happened to this individual in Dallas, a very big event in American history. Now we're going to release the information, and I guarantee you, you will get all the information as long as it doesn't implicate one particular group of characters. You'll get 80,000 pages, and I wonder if you will actually get the truth. It's just wondering. Do sovereigns have your interest at heart? Very convenient that we're doing this major photo oppie release as we are doing geopolitical stuff in the Middle East. And you have to ask yourself, why do I not own Bitcoin? the member, not member stream this morning, not having Bitcoin is like not having the internet. Not having crypto is not like not having the internet. Now, I know you probably have crypto. The question is, do you have enough? Or can you reorganize your portfolio to get more? And I realize the market is just like a cascading, flaming turd falling out of the sky, but that's when you should be having these conversations. Okay, more on sovereigns. German lawmakers back defense and infrastructure spending plans with 513 out of a total of 733, clearing the 2/3 threshold required for constitutional changes for defense spending. Hey, guys, the big bear in Eastern Europe, yeah, they've been your next door neighbor for 100 years, literally. And now you're going to blow you're going to like change the demographics of your country, and then you're going to blow out your bond market for defense. I mean, we're not doing their defense anymore. I get it. You're going to outspend the Russians. Okay. So if you're in Bitcoin, why does this matter? Well, I don't know. You got Uncle Sugar here. That's got to do 9 trillion. And then I guess Uncle Sugar is, I don't know, the defense contractors or whoever have talked the Europeans into going crazy. So their interest rates have spiked massively. They want to borrow a whole ton of money. They're going to have to print money. Where's all this money going to come from? Sovereign's going to drain all the money in the system out? So why do you think Michael Saylor, Metaplanet, and all these guys are like, oh my God, we got to issue money? You know, everyone's like worried that Michael Saylor is like getting money and not spending it right away. I was like, all right, well, we got to get it. We got to get money now, because I don't know how all these governments get all this money unless central banks just massively print and increase money supply, like massively. Where is all this money going to come from? This is so bullish Bitcoin, it's absurd. Okay, why OPEC is supporting a massive rise in oil production. Okay, so I got this from somebody. They noted it. I don't know if it's true, but here's what I do know. Dollar down, gold up, silver up is good for ETH. Oil down is good for Bitcoin. Now, right now, we got geopolitical stuff going on. We've had a geopolitical end of the world trade multiple times last year. This one looks more serious than, again, they all do. I don't know what the heck we're doing. We're distracting everybody with certain news. Hey, gas prices are low. Let's launch on everybody in the Middle East. I don't know, man. It's like sovereigns are behaving strangely, and people love it, and that's great. Okay, let them love it. I'm going to love Bitcoin. That's what I'm going to love. Okay, Elon's vision of AI in 10 years is kind of scary. Whatever. Right? Let's focus on AI as a prosperity-based thing, even though there are scary aspects. And let's focus on Bitcoin as the ultimate AI trade and crypto. Because, like, there's no way AI investment is just NVIDIA. It's not. You know that. By the way, stocks dropped. Right? Stocks dropped. There was no crisis. There was nothing. Everyone dropped. Everyone sold. Everyone's bearish, because everyone thinks that all stocks are AI stocks, and that's not true. That's really all that happened, right? And then meanwhile, in crypto, we saw that, and we created a crisis without a crisis, okay? More on that in a minute. So the Orange Man will be signing executive orders today after whatever is released about the 60s. How about we buy Bitcoin instead? Just saying. What's going on over in the Middle East could cost tens of billions of dollars and could spread and become crazy. Hence, the market is down. Do not want to sell Bitcoin based on sovereigns being stupid, or on, people influencing the United States to do things that we normally wouldn't want to do. Right? That's that simple. I mean, we gave Ukraine to the Russians so we could turn around and fight in the Middle East. Crazy. And we're selling off that. Selling. Nuts. We've adopted a crisis mentality without the crisis. Crypto is in FTX without FTX. I don't know how we did this. It's like a magic trick, except it's like for stupidity. It's like, welcome to the stupidity magic theater, where we make you think it's FTX when really it's the dawn of 250 Bitcoin. I love this. BlackRock just bought 1.4 billion sterling worth of UK homes. So you can't say anything on Facebook or you meet guys with bulletproof vests, which is why you should have an antivirus phone, eSIM card, etc. BlackRock is buying all the housing and turning you into serfs. Can't own anything. You have to rent it. What part of this is in your interest? Like, here's the great news. You don't have to focus on this. You don't. You do not have to focus on this. Okay, there's a news item. Great. Okay, here's a green button. Boom. You got any members out there with the green button emoji? You can get cool emojis and get attention on the stream for $4.99 a month. Boom. Green button. BlackRock buying everything. Boom. You know, sovereigns going, hey, look over here. Here's a cool event, and we're going to behave badly over here. It's all the same stuff. Basically, it's like I look at the news every morning, and it's like, buy Bitcoin. Bank of America survey shows biggest ever drop in exposure to U.S. equities. Okay, well, on one hand, good, because that was over-owned, overdone. Retail got dumped on at the top by all the smart money. So, of course, they puked it out. But everyone has given up on a prosperous future. Everyone thinks it's a recession. It's a disaster. Oh, my God. I think it's all wrong. It's all wrong. I mean, the whole definition of a recession is built for a manufacturing economy. People don't even know what a recession is. If you think about it, we've been in some sort of growth hampering a regime where the job numbers have been inaccurate and, you know, prices have gone up exponentially. Most people have been, except NVIDIA holders, most people are in bad shape. They've been in bad shape and maybe it's about to turn around. Has anyone thought of that? Like, if someone tries to do an AI-based prosperity trade, instead of doing it in equities, they may do it in Bitcoin and ETH, coupled with a serious need to, you know, decentralize the future. Like, people don't think that's necessary until they think it's necessary. It doesn't matter until it does. I love this. So, Wall Street's blockchain bosses call for new rules, expertise in 2025. Okay, so JP Morgan says we cannot get involved until we have regulatory clarity. Okay, well, I don't know. Congress just repealed all the stuff about DeFi and stablecoins. I know they want stablecoins because stablecoin issuers buy treasuries. They got to issue $9 trillion, and the SEC dropped every single lawsuit against everybody, but that's not clear enough for JP Morgan. You got to be kidding me. Regulatory clarity, the SEC just told you that they're not going to try to legislate from the bench, meaning they're not going to try to sue people to get laws made, because judges don't make laws, Congress makes laws. But of course, it won't be good enough for JP Morgan because we don't need them anymore. Now, Michael Riley from Fidelity has a point. Education or lack thereof is a problem. Like, why are we here? The real answer is, if you want to be honest, the real answer is to make 1,000x on a meme coin. Let's face it, that's why we're all here. Now, the real reason we should be all here is because we need a new form of money, and there's got to be a better way to invest in AI, build the future, buy something, particularly since most of this stuff has been marked down like 50%. 40 to 50% is like the average markdown for coins that we liked in the YouTube member area, period, right? 40 to 50% markdown. Talking to Toby this morning, doing a stream, you know, like I watch this market. I'm like, oh, God, you gotta be kidding me. Toby's like, oh my God, it's so good. Everything's down. I was like, wow. You know, you watch crypto Twitter all day. I don't know. It's like crypto Twitter is like the new smoking. Like you watch that, listen to that long enough, you'll just become stupid, right? The bottom line is it's down and people don't understand it. And when they do, they're just going to FOMO in relentlessly FOMO in. Okay, so here we go. That's the red carpet. Okay, that's the guy who did it, whatever. Okay, here we go. So we have a credit company partnering with Walmart so people can buy groceries. In the new era, consumers need to borrow money to afford food. How's the currency working out there? How's it working out? Is there a positive solution to this? Yes. Meanwhile, some character who's like short I don't know, $500 million at 85K. This is the most celebrated position in the history of crypto. Like Michael Saylor just continues to buy Bitcoin, and all of crypto Twitter is obsessed with this guy who's short. It's like, oh, what does he know? Well, what he knows is everyone's going to scurry. Everyone's going to be like, oh my God, everyone wants to get shorted to 200-day moving average. Sell. Somebody's down here taking it all, like BlackRock taking all the housing. It's like, it's unbelievable. We got a quote from CZ later. He knows who's taking it. Okay, so apparently the government has money machines. So it's like you just push a button, money gets created, you pay yourself a salary. The Fed doesn't have to print money. They just have automatic ATMs everywhere. You know, that's disturbing, obviously. Okay. And, you know, we're all podcasting about it and it's great. Like the Muppets. Remember the Muppets? Mm-hmm. So, you know, Elon finds 10 billion and then we go over and we have a night in the Middle East and we drop 10 billion a day, probably. Okay. All right, here we go. Conor McGregor at the White House. What does this have anything to do with anything? It's a great distraction. It's a great distraction. And Conor wants to be, he wants to run Ireland one day. So he's got problems in court like the Orange Man did. Not a surprise. Not a surprise. You know, let's get Conor running Ireland because, you know, Ireland does something every day that makes me want to buy more crypto. But again, this is a distraction. A distraction from what? Okay. A distraction from what? Now, CZ here telling you what they're doing, what the big players are doing. Because if you don't think CZ knows what everybody in the market's doing, you're crazy. And he's nice enough to tweet about it. Holding Bitcoin surpasses 99% of crypto participants and other asset types by doing practically nothing. This is from a guy who makes his living liquidating perp traders. And I saw BNB Chain, Pancake Swap just surpass Solana. So he's running a giant casino, and he just told you about hodling Bitcoin is better than whatever everyone else on his company's chains are doing. Why would he say that? Because his over-the-counter desks have just got huge orders. They probably can't fill the orders. That's why they do this. Ooh, let's get short at 85. Let's scare everybody in front of the Fed. By the way, the Fed has done nothing but screw up. And one day they're going to open their mouth, and that could be tomorrow. They're just going to open their mouth and go, oh my God, these guys have screwed up massively. No matter what they say. Labor market disruption, their fault. I got something in here about the private sector, private equity firms doing something with variable rate debt that could be a major problem. The Fed let all of this happen. Every single bad thing that has happened here, they either did it directly or they let it happen. Meanwhile, CZ is just down here on the bid. He's like, I'm just going to buy it all. You know, y'all don't understand this. I'm telling you, I'm sending you a signal that this is what's going to happen. Abu Dhabi stablecoin investment. God, these people in the Arab world, these people can't buy enough crypto. They cannot get involved. One, because they don't want all their crypto companies packing their bags and going over to the United States, because that could happen. And two, they're just like, we want to adopt it first. We were here. We were doing it. Now we're just going to do it faster. Okay, naturally, if you want to figure out what to do in life, just figure out what the French are doing and do the opposite. So France, again, I bring this up every day. Promoting crypto and non-bank financing risks future crises that often start in the U.S. and spread worldwide. So every big problem in the world has either been created by the Fed, the banks, or both. And the thing that replaces the banks is going to create the crisis. Like the things in legacy that create the crisis, bail everybody out, which leads to the next crisis. That's the loop in legacy. But of course, crypto, crypto's a disaster and blah, blah, blah. This is just to get the general public off of it. Because you know what? In France, some of these governments, they do not have your interest at heart. They don't. And if you had your own interest at heart and you said, you know what, I'm going to take my life and matter in my own hands, and I'm going to bet on prosperity instead of a Ray Dalio debt blow up, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to do it even when it sucks. It's like a David Goggins thing. Wake up every day and do something that sucks. You want to know what sucks? Talking about the market and being bullish every day with this thing cascading in your face. That's not that I don't like being on the air with you. Of course I do. Right. And if you need a roadmap in crypto, subscribe to this channel. But, you're out there, you're pounding the table, everyone's left, everyone's gone, and fear greed is at 34. And you know what? They'll do fear greed tomorrow, it'll be at 20. It prints 79, it'll be at 10. Everybody is negative. This is FTX without FTX. This is a crisis sentiment without a crisis. We'll go over that in, like kind of in the PowerPoint. We have a crisis with no crisis. Okay. Stock performance since 2006, the market's up 400%. But if you adjust it, if you look at the stock market in terms of gold, it's down. So in other words, you made a bunch of money in stocks, but that all went away because of inflation. That's what that's telling you. Crypto is the only thing that can keep you ahead of inflation, right? Period. Trump's World Liberty Financial sells tokens, raises money. Why? To buy more crypto. The Russians want to do it, except they want to do a CBDC because they have your interest at heart. Whatever. Almighty. Costco workers, $31 an hour and expect raises for the next 2 years. Why is that? Well, because at Costco, they probably want you to come and work like a mad person. They want you to work really hard. And they don't want you to have 3 jobs so you don't show up at Costco exhausted. Period. Anybody in this wage group has to have 2 or 3 jobs to survive. And people are starting to figure out that, hey, if we want employees to perform and only have 1 job, we have to pay them. In the meantime, I'm just going to simply ask you, how's the currency working out? How's it working out? Can't believe some of the stuff I got in here. I got one guy crying over his rent. Metaplanet, $13 million in bonds. Get the money before Uncle Sugar does. Michael Saylor to issue more stuff. First, I had MicroStrategy, MSTR. Then I have, I don't know what, Spark. Now I have Strife. Right? We're gonna have all the Avengers as MicroStrategy legacy instruments. Okay, that people who need Bitcoin exposure will buy, and it makes sense. It's just not going to stop selling. It's like, okay, you guys want to buy it? I'm just going to raise all the cash I can and sit on the bid over there with CZ's execution desk. We'll put on a big short position. We'll scare everybody, and then we'll scoop it all up at 80. I don't know. When we sell the market for the 15th time on whatever imaginary reason we have for being bearish. UAE Sovereign Wealth Fund have invested $2.5 billion in crypto. These guys are not going to stop, and everyone's going to copy them. Everybody. Yeah, Swiss Central Bank. There's the Norwegian Sovereign Wealth Fund. These are huge entities. And I'm assuming we're doing the same thing. Like we're essentially going around the Fed and the Treasury by creating a sovereign wealth fund. World Liberty is like the prototype for the sovereign wealth fund. It's what it is. It's a prototype. And undoubtedly, Michael Saylor may show up with the details of that at the Bitcoin conference. I mean, I'd like you to buy a ticket to the Bitcoin conference through my affiliate link, but I'm trying to get people to realize that the market is going to look materially different 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 12 months from now. And people are going to ask themselves, what the hell was I doing? What is everyone doing? Okay, McAfee's out. 3rd podcast. Okay, the guy's got his own YouTube channel. So, everyone's all bent out of shape. Everyone's all bent out of shape that a dead guy's talking. Why? It's the AI era. He's basically talking about self-custody. He's also talking about, and I put it on my Twitter, I quoted the machine. Like, it's the chatbot said, whether it's roaring highs or soul-crushing lows, your stance on the tightrope now matters more than ever. And trust me, there's a way to make this meme fun, aggressive, edgy. Trust me. I sit up, all I do is think about it. And you listen to these talks, and yeah, okay. Right now, when everybody's selling everything, no one's paying attention. But by the time this market turns around, this thing's going to be walking, talking, answering questions, podcasting with Janice, podcasting with anyone who will listen. And frankly, the fact that they shut it off Twitter actually makes it more bullish to me because they're afraid of it. They either don't understand it or they're afraid of it. What goes up in crypto? Seriously, I've said this before. What goes up? What they don't understand, what they hate or they have trouble buying. Antivirus is pretty simple to buy. You can buy it on Solana. That's, there are exchanges. I think MEXC has it. But they definitely hate it. Like Twitter hates it. They hate it, right? They shut the antivirus account down. They're shadow banning Janus, and they're probably shadow banning the main McAfee account as well. Good luck. He's talking. It's too late. Everyone's like, oh, the AI revolution is coming. Yeah, bro, it's right here. Oh, I don't like that kind of revolution. Oh, too bad. Too bad. Right? I mean, the memes that this thing can do with me and Janice, and we're doing it. We're doing it. I swear to God, if I have to stay up all night, I don't care what I have to do. Because he's right. I mean, hey, self-custody. I mean, does that not resonate when North Korea got its strategic sovereign wealth fund, strategic Bitcoin reserve, courtesy of the Bybit customer base? I don't know, man. I don't know. I am so in on that. So in. Bitcoin's recent $12 billion open interest wipeout was essential. Right. You have a lot of people wiped out in Bitcoin. Okay. In other words, when open interest falls as the market goes down, it's bullish. If open interest rises as the market goes down, it's bearish. People are making increasing bullish bets. I'm sorry. If the market goes down and people make bearish bets, that's bearish. If the market goes down and it wipes everyone out, it's a clean slate. What happens when all these people who got out go to get back in? There's not going to be any sellers. Michael Saylor is going to, Michael Saylor and BlackRock and all these characters, they're going to work through CZ. CZ is going to buy Bitcoin at 80 and sit there. And the only reason he's going to sell it is because guys are going to come in and pay 100. Market goes through 100, it's going to explode. No one's talking about that. The famous short position, Whale closed it. 9.4 million profit in 8 days. How nice. We're all bragging about what some short seller did. But meantime, we have a self-imposed crisis. Short sellers are heroes. Every day I look at this and I go, you got to be kidding me. It's like I get more defiant every day. Xapo banks launch Bitcoin-backed loans. Yeah, that's because people are going to buy it, hodl, and never sell. Best time to open that up is when it's down. Michael Saylor, 5 million shares to buy more Bitcoin. Crypto fans are obsessed with longevity. So Dave Asprey and the biohacking movement. I know two people who are heavily into this. My crypto portfolio works out. I'll get into it. They want to live to be 180 years old because they know Bitcoin's going to $1 million. And all you have to do is buy a bunch of Bitcoin, borrow against it, and live happily ever after. That's the best reason to live to be 180. Let the AI future work for you. Burning quantum vulnerable Bitcoin is the best option. Okay. Again, this is more FUD to be afraid of. I know that these bigger issues, quantum computing, AI, etc. Right now, it's just all creating fear. More fear is not the answer. It's not the answer, right? Okay. Tron founder Justin Sun teases Solana collaboration. Solana ran some kind of commercial yesterday that offended everybody, and now everybody thinks Solana is dead. That's insane. People shorting Solana at 120? Crazy. What's even crazier is everyone giving up on Ethereum. Tried to explain people giving up on Ethereum this morning to Toby. Just look at me and goes, I don't understand. I'm like, well, there was a bank that said it was going to 10,000 and then, now they say it's only going to 4,000. She's like, I don't understand. I'm like, well, everyone hates ETH now. She's like, well, that's ridiculous because you're going to be running DeFi on ETH. Right? No one thinks DeFi is necessary until they do. Coinbase stock is a buy with over 60% upside, according to Bernstein. Now, some of these places, they got nothing to lose, right? It's like if they loved it at the top, they got to love it even more at the bottom. To an analyst, especially like me, there's no downside to getting bullish at 80. You definitely can't get bearish because there's nothing more loathsome than the late stage bear. I'm not telling retail at 80. It's going to Michael Saylor's average price at 66. There's no real evidence of that. And I don't know. I mean, if there was, I would tell you to get to the chopper, but there is no evidence of that. Everything points the other way. Gold leads the way. Bitcoin follows. Right. Bitcoin whale bets $368 million. Again, everyone's writing about the short position. Everybody's writing about the FOMC. Let's talk about the FOMC while we have this up. So, okay. So Powell joins Janet and Ben, prints the economy into an inflationary spiral, then hikes rates to 5%, which A, doesn't stop the spiral, B, makes the government debt refinancing a disaster, C, triggers more or less a potential major problem in this private equity based, I don't know, debt party that they had. And now they're sitting around saying, well, we can't do anything because we don't know what the orange man's going to do with tariffs. When the simple fact of the matter is, all they can do is push money in the system and pray it doesn't all blow up in their face. And one day, Powell's going to walk out, is to just open his mouth, and no matter what he says, Bitcoin's going to go up. One day, that's going to happen. Every time he opens his mouth, it's going to go up. Now, in the meantime, what algos do is they program in what he's supposed to say through Polymarket, and then depending on what he does or doesn't say, algorithms move the market around. But eventually, people are just going to look at this guy and be like, you know what? We're done with this. We're done. We're done with the sovereign shell game. You know, oh, well, you know, we can't hike rates. We can't lower rates because the labor market's too tight. Or we have to be ballistic in tightening because the labor market's too tight. Okay, well, it was never too tight, and now everyone's getting laid off. So why aren't rates lower? I don't know, because there's always an excuse, right? There's an excuse. And then everyone's going to realize that they don't know what they're doing. And they don't have your interest at heart. It's going to be a double shot. And that's going to happen, which is why the stream is entitled, hey, let's win over the Fed. You know, they'll probably wind up suppressing the stream because I'm saying it. I don't care. He's going to open his mouth one day, and every time he opens his mouth, it's going to go up. Every time he opens his mouth, it's going to go up because it's just like, we're done with this. We're getting to that point. Because again, you know, what are we doing in the Middle East? Elon's cutting costs. We're spending it somewhere else. You know, eventually they get found out on this. And the solution to that is not negative. It's positive. It's Bitcoin and crypto and Web3 up, right? It's Web3 up. MicroStrategy double bottom may be a new signal for a bull run. Listen, people, there are a lot of hedge funds short that stock. Like, buy what they hate. You know, my father used to have equity rankings from A to D, right? My father used to say, sell the A's and buy the D's. Buy what they hate. Buy what they're short. Don't buy what they love, right? Everyone's already invested. Buy what they hate. They hate MicroStrategy, buy it. They hate Bitcoin, buy it. They've completely given up on ETH. And now that whole little disease thing is spreading over to Solana. Toby talked about Avalanche. He was screaming about Avalanche for years that they have a security token functionality. Somebody announces a partnership with one of these layer ones, they're all going to go. Toby said Avalanche, watch the show. We gave it to you for free. Bitcoin storm could be brewing. Crypto on-chain, blah, 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 blah. Okay, it's all ending. Everything is falling apart. Oh my God, the sky is falling. The expected volatility boom could happen to the downside should the stock market continue to fall, accelerating the decline in crypto prices. Or equities are in a range, and everyone's going to figure out that the only investment that you can really prosper with is crypto. And everybody got bearish for no reason. Like, everyone assumed there was a crisis. There's no crisis. There isn't any. There are problems. There are reasons why you would buy Bitcoin. Some of it's AI. Some of it's a different form of money. But everyone expects the volatility to be to the downside. And what happens if everybody just goes, you know what? I'm tired of this. And you get banana moves in Bitcoin. And everything else follows. Bitcoin's bull market cycle is over, says Crypto Quant founder. It's concerned about liquidity drying up. Okay. YouTube member area, we're talking about 250. So good luck with that. If you want to see some of that, we put some of it in there today for free by accident. So go check that out. I have this like wildly outlandish thumbnail for that show. Crow supply up 200% after last minute governance flip. I'm sure that's great for the token. XRP down 3% as everyone thinks that what this guy says matters, because it doesn't. And when we figure that out, the market will go up. Now, what are we going to do in the meantime? Sell before, algos will move it around. The first trade is always wrong. We'll do this whole song and dance, which is fine, as long as you don't get caught up in it. As long as you don't get caught up in it. Because whatever they're going to throw at the market, if it doesn't crack 80, or if it doesn't crack to a new low, or even if it does, if it comes back, right? If it can hold its own, there's massively bullish seasonal patterns coming in for Easter, right? Like before and after Easter. I'm calling it the Jesus query. I gave it to Patreon, right? They know what's up, right? Easter can be unbelievably bullish. I mean, there were huge moves, 2019, 2017, last year. I mean, you can get, not that this is going to happen, but in 2011, Bitcoin 1000x'd before and after Easter, took 70 days, 1000x. I mean, don't think it can't happen. It can. Not 1000x in Bitcoin, but you can have outlandish moves to the upside because everyone is negative. And the legacy system is letting everyone down before their eyes. Now, naturally, McAfee is podcasting about securing your crypto, and this individual got her house broken into, and they ordered her to hand over her crypto at gunpoint. So if your crypto is not secure and you don't think there are bad people out there, there are. And you need to protect yourself from all the different kinds of bad people, right? All different kinds of bad people. So here are armed police showing up at people's houses, and we don't know where the phone calls are coming from. We just know if they don't like you, that's who you meet. Now, it's all by accident, but still, you're waking up at 3 a.m. and these guys are on your door looking for you, right? They're sitting there, they're looking at you, and they think they've been told that you're a bad guy. This is happening, folks. This is not happening, right? Okay. Havoc, $10. Jesus is king. Personally, I'm going The Chosen. It's kind of one of my favorite shows. They're going to do stuff in the movie theater. There's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of reasons to be in the Jesus when this market goes down. It's great personally, because if you see what he went through, it's a lot worse than what's going on right here. And he made it through. Right? He made it through. So, I got stuff going on in my life. A little of that is helpful. I concur. So don't want to sell BTC, but wondering about the rest. Okay. So if you're long trash and you did a bad trade, you know it, fix it. Fix it. You don't have to dump everything. You want to dump stuff on a rally, but if you know you did a bad trade, and just get out of it. It's mentally healthier, and get that into Bitcoin in case Bitcoin dominance does do something crazy, like go to 80K. I am sort of afraid that if Bitcoin went to 160 on a line, that could be at the expense of trashy alts. Okay. Charlie the Positive Cat, let's go. Right. Nola fan wants decoupling. Right. Got to get our members hitting the green button. 23. Love you too, man. Patriot Caveman is here. Daniel J, I think, doing the double stream. Julius Max, a member. Welcome. Welcome to the show. James. Yes, sir. Okay. PowerPoint. Let's go. PowerPoint, let's go. Consumers borrowing money for food at Walmart. The currency is not working. It's not. When people discover that crypto is a path to something positive, right? I mean, the amount of negative stuff out there. Now, the negative stuff to me is all positive. But when people discover that there's a positive solution to a chronic negative problem, they're just gonna fly into Coinbase and hit the green button. And all those people who just came in left, and when they come back in, it's going to explode. It's going to explode. I mean, they came in, they FOMO'd in, and they left. And then they're going to come back in. Toby's friends are coming back in. Everyone's coming in. Like, hey, how do I buy $20 worth of XRP? They're all excited. And that's the thing about XRP. XRP is easy to understand. That's why people like it. Okay. The pink line is returns in the Goldman Sachs European Defense Index. So defense stocks doing very well when governments say we're going to print unlimited sugar and hand it out to fight a 100-year-old war that we've already lost. How nice, right? And most likely the rest of European stocks would follow, and I can't disagree, right? You put a whole bunch of sugar in the system, stocks go up. And if stocks don't go up, they're going to discover crypto. I can't believe they're not going to discover crypto out there. That's why they don't want crypto. Now, of course, their stock markets can't catch up a lot. You put a whole bunch of sugar in the system, which they're going to have to issue all that debt, their stock market could do good. So could crypto, right? Sugar, sugar, sugar. And is this in the interest of the European people? Well, we know what the answer to that is. I mean, it is the primary job of government to protect the people, but it's not the primary job of government to drive up interest rates and trash the currency. Maybe. Right. I just don't think this is in anyone's interest over there. And they're already on your case as it is. I mean, I'm glad that Europeans are going to go build something. That's good. Get them building something. I mean, Germany's been like deindustrialized. But whatever's good for stocks is good for crypto. Okay. Everybody is afraid of 85K. That's the 200-day moving average. And I swear to God, this reminds me of what I can't remember if it was the 200-week moving average back then. This thing sat below 20K and it just looked terrible. Looked like it was going to 10K. Sat there 16K, sat there below 20. It should have held 20K. That was the 2017 high. It goes to 70. It comes back down and sits below 20K. It just looks terrible. Terrible. Like, oh my God, the prior support, the prior resistance is not acting as support for 6 months. So we had a crisis, we had PTSD, the whole thing, bearishness, winter, it's all over. And we're doing it all again. We had a crisis with no crisis. We got FTX with no FTX. We're like making it up in our heads. I don't know why. I don't know why. I think it's a distraction. You may think I'm out of my mind. You're going to look at yourself in 12 months and be like, I could have bought this below 80. Or I could have bought it at 83 and sat there with it. Or I could have bought Solana at 120, ETH below 2K with everyone negative. No one wants it. Everyone's afraid ETH's going to go to 800. I don't know, man. I don't understand why we're celebrating everyone who's getting negative at the end of a 25% decline. Okay, from Jordy Visser. Sentiment without crisis, a lesson from history and the unknown future. The pessimist sees difficulty in every opportunity. I am guilty of that in my personal life. But the optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty, which is what I'm aspiring to in my personal life and on a market update and in the YouTube member area and in Patreon, which I would encourage you to get into because we're just absolutely all over this thing. We're all over it. I am not going to stop telling people to get involved. Neither is Toby. Toby's like, people are still bearish on crypto Twitter because she doesn't have to look at this crap, right? That's why the show works. We have one person who's like chest deep in it. That's me. And one person who doesn't look at it. She just looks at whatever she looks at, comes on the show and being like, oh, it's still down. Oh, good. More shopping. Women love shopping. They do. My daughter loves shopping. I had to look at what's going on our Amazon account. I'm like, oh my God, child, stop it. Okay, for all the uncertainty, there is one fundamental difference between today and the 1930s, because that's what Dalio thinks it is, right? This is Jordy Visser with the counter. Okay, unlike manufacturing and trade-dependent world back then, our economy is powered by technology, innovation, and the consumer. While uncertainty dominates the present moment, the larger trajectory suggests that technology and economic evolution may outweigh short-term disruptions. In other words, buy Bitcoin. He wants to probably buy stocks too. That's fine, right? Fine. Whatever. Stocks are in a range. Everyone dropped them. Like, I don't know. It's something Bank of America. I had it somewhere here earlier. Bank of America, like, you know, people sold stocks at a more rapid rate than ever. Okay. coming from Baker, Bloom, and Davis. News articles playing up economic uncertainty. Okay, so there was cough, cold, and flu. And here's where we are now. This is the media telling you we're in a recession. Meanwhile, the media was obviously not shopping with you at Costco over the last 2 years. So you can see the friggin' nightmare that was. But, let's publish all this FUD about everything. Stocks, the economy, crypto, everything. Let's FUD everything. Why? I don't know. Because we're Doomberg. We're upset. I don't know. We don't like the ideology. Who knows? I mean, this is 2008. We have more FUD now than 2008. And FUD, I don't know, is in shouting difference of cough, cold, and flu levels. Yeah, it's like we got more FUD now than we did in September in the year after 2000. You got to be kidding me. This was like the 9/11 was in the middle of a bear market. Equities went down. We had a 10% correction, and it's the end of the world. It can't be. Mainly because the media thinks it is. On that reason alone, you just fade everything. Okay, layoff announcements. They're huge. So you have to ask Uncle Jerome what he's going to do about this. Hey, how long can he ignore this and use tariffs as an excuse? So yeah, this is Uncle Sugar, but I have no doubt that the private sector is using Uncle Sugar's layoffs as an excuse to just let people go. And, everyone's paying attention to the government headlines and not their headlines. Jerome Powell, what is he doing? Is this going to get acknowledged? If it does, Bitcoin should go straight up. Okay, so this is the query that Patreon got. Just to be advised, right around Easter time, the market does do quite well. Quite well. And there have been big moves. Big moves. The one big down move was FTX. But like 2019, 2017, we're talking about 28, 25% moves at a minimum in some cases. Okay, so this query about 33 days before Easter, just in case, we got in so much trouble on the earlier stream today by accident because it was supposed to be behind a paywall. We might as well go all the way. So the query measures what happens when, like I just decided to look at 33 days before Easter because that's what it was. I was like, oh, that's an interesting GAN number. I'm like, hey, when's Easter? Oh, 33 days from now. Or when's Good Friday? 33 days from now. I'm like, oh, 33, that's an interesting number. So I got this great bullish query, right? Starting 33 days before Easter. And then I asked Grok, what is the numerological, the biblical significance of 33? Well, apparently the man was 33 when he passed away. I didn't even know that. Okay. There's right. And there's also symbolic interpretation. So if you translated the blue and white symbol of the country in the Middle East into a number, it's 33. 33 is the numerical equivalent of the star. And the man was 33 when he passed away. So it's like, I love it when I get these GAN coincidences. So if you want the market to rise again, as the rise again query. Like I said, we got in trouble today with everything else. We might as well go all the way. Like, there's no way I'm getting bearish on this thing. Let's just check to see what the stupid monkeys are doing today. Okay, so Bitcoin down 2%. Bitcoin sitting on equilibrium. If you go over here, you look at Solana. Like today is your second 13 bottom in Solana. Two of them. One over here, one over here. This Elliott wave thing is done. Everyone's just negative. It's like it's dead. Now, I don't know. Is it a repeat of this where it's dead and then it collapses? I don't know. Not according to the DeMark work. Okay. ETH is the same thing. Like, is it this where it just sits here and then it falls off a cliff? Again, not according to this DeMark work, as long as this, this 1830, 1840 level holds. I just don't understand how anybody could be like negative this stuff here. XRP is hanging around the 38% retracement. And you know what it is about XRP? I don't go to the 4-hour chart. I don't know if anything is there. This XRP is just kind of like holding it together. You know what it is about XRP is that it's easy to understand. Truthfully, it's easy to understand. I don't have the. In other words, it's fast money and retail likes it. Okay. Support at 221. I don't have anything particularly like earth-shattering on the DeMark front on this. It's just easy to understand and retail likes it. And I don't think retail's going to sell. I think the only reason retail would sell this is if it crashed and went back down to 50 cents. XRP has like the 200-day moving average and equilibrium levels underneath it around $2. Like it did break out of the downside of this triangle, and that's why it got smacked, but that move could be over. Why sell now? Like, look at Ethereum. I know I bring this up all the time. I mean, Ethereum on a daily chart, right? It's at the discount zone. It's a 5-wave bottom. And this is Ethereum sitting on the top of the discount zone. I'm not selling Ethereum down here. Like, it didn't pay to buy Ethereum at the premium zone. It does not going to pay to sell it down here. Why would you sell it down here? Solana is the same way. Can you believe how people have just like packed it in on Solana? I mean, yeah, I gave Solana a hard time because pump.fun. But now that pump.fun seems to have stopped, everyone's like forgotten about Solana. Let me ask you something. Before pump.fun, what was the reason to buy Solana at 20? Does anybody remember? Like, other than the fact it's a cool layer 1, it's tested, it's fast, it does stuff, it has a phone. Like, what was the reason to buy Solana at 20? What was the reason to buy Solana at 40, at 80, right? At 100? What was there? Why? I mean, was it all pump.fun? It was like bonk and whiff in the beginning. Why has everyone packed it in? It's like the biggest give up trade I've ever seen other than Ethereum. Like the sudden give up. I mean, Solana is the 200-day moving average in this. Like Solana is 30% below the 200-day moving average. This is the 200-day moving average, right? Yeah. We're going to sell one of the best cryptos ever with a proposal to limit inflation 40 freaking percent below the 200-day moving average. I'm not doing that. I am absolutely not doing that. I don't know who this is. Let's check it out. I have received official confirmation from the U.S. National Archives. When the White House releases the files, they will be publicly available here. Good. Right? Bitcoin's down 2%. I'm sure this will be a very interesting event in American history. It's not as interesting as Bitcoin at 250K. It's not. And nobody thinks that can happen, and good. Crypto Billy is here. Please follow Crypto Billy on Twitter. I know Billy has his Twitter space. He's got a Twitter space that I want to attend. Okay. But there are some, I got some commitments that I just can't get out of. Right. But what I can do for Billy is show you, givers gain. This is actually a good guy in crypto. There's so few. So it's at Crypto Billy 111. Give him a follow. Go check it out. Right. Billy's a good guy. Okay, people. You want to check this out. I'm going to share this one other thing. You want to check out what we did this morning. I mean, the YouTube member area has had a lot of this kind of stuff, so they know what's there, but you may not. So we actually wound up with 2 free streams for today, courtesy of, my technological ineptitude. So we have this stream that's going on now. And then earlier today, we have no wimps allowed. It's a no holds barred. Hopefully the channel still works tomorrow, given the language that was used on that stream. But you should check it out because that's an example of what we do in the YouTube member area, which, I would encourage you to check out. And for God's sakes, hit the notification bell on the way out. The notification bell is the path to the future. Please help the channel with the notification bell. We will see you tomorrow.